Film Club is brought to you by the TCC Trinity River campus and the Idea Store Theater. This semester we're focusing on cult classic films, movies that you wouldn't typically get to see in the theater, and we get to project them on this fancy schmancy projector machine. Film Clubs is a cool place. We just sit around and watch movies. What more could we want? Hi. Welcome back to the Film Club show. This is the second episode, and today we'll be diving into the movie House. I'm JP Scott. Over there is Dexter. He's the money guy. That's Emma, right?
Yeah. Kevin.
I'm Kevin. I work at a cutting edge.
Film man is
Andrew.
Andrew.
I don't like Kev.
Sam Drew.
Sam the Lion.
You can find him on Facebook at samthelion. House is a Japanese movie directed by commercial director Nobuo Obayashi. This is a movie that is off its rocker.
I honestly liked it. I have a feeling I'd like it a lot more if I understood a little bit of the culture behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a lot of subtle things. The bath, the way everything was handled, and then all the little innuendos and figures of speech that we didn't get, and we're sitting there taking it literally, and then all the actors are laughing, and I'm just like, I wish I was there on that.
Yeah, there was a scene in the movie where they were talking about the decapitated head, and that entire scene was like a play on words, pretty much, where they would just keep saying like the same couple syllables over and over and over, rearranged.
What were they?
Like amita.
I'm a pretty big fanatic of Japanese horror films, actually, and that's
Old and new?
Yeah, old and new, and because Japanese horror is a little different than American horror. They don't do a lot of the slasher. It's more about spirits and being haunted by spirits, and I thought they did a really good interpretation in House.
Anything avant-garde, anything out of the ordinary, you know. So, yeah, like Evil Dead is definitely at the top of the list, you know.
How the camera was treated as like this
There's
free-flowing
like
thing,
person.
like a third person, and it was very similar to how they treated the camera in Evil Dead.
It's beautifully shot. Every frame in the movie could be a photograph if you ever look at it. And anytime you pause that it would make a good photograph. As a matter of fact, several frames of the movie have been my cover photo on my Facebook page.
Yeah,
Okay, well, here's a question then. Are any of you guys familiar with Toho films, like Godzilla films?
Yeah, I've seen some Godzilla films in my day.
There isn't really a similarity in style between the Godzilla films and this movie.
Well, there's not a whole lot of similarity between this movie and any other movie either.
Especially Jaws, right?
I could see how Toho would want to make like a kind of Jaws type movie. That would have been really rad. Like a Jaws Godzilla crossover thing, where it's like a giant,
oh my gosh,
like dinosaur shark.
That would be the greatest thing to ever exist in history.
Partially written by a 7-year-old.
Yeah, I want to meet this kid. I bet she was demented.
She said that her aunt had this giant clock that she was creeped out by, and she had, she opened like the closet and all the mattresses fell on her, which is why somebody got killed via mattress in this movie.
Well, like somebody brought it up earlier about when she was taking a bath and the hair was like rising up her back. I don't know if anybody else thought of it this way, but it kind of reminded me of Grudge.
I wish there was more of a background story to it, because I kind of wonder if her mom's death had something to do with her aunt's death, and like how did her aunt die, and
it kind of implies that the reason why nobody visits her anymore is because she ate everybody.
Yeah.
And
and what's up with the watermelon guy? Who's that guy?
I don't know. And also it kind of reminded me of what's that movie? Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
How, you know, this is the smart character. This is the.
Oh yeah.
This is this character, and yeah, I don't know. I kind of.
Really simple.
Yeah.
That was funny how they had this girl casket in there. Like it was like, who's the kid from the Goonies?
Chunk.
Yeah, yeah. She reminds me of Chunk.
Yeah.
Triple Chunk.
She's not that bad though. Yeah.
She's healthy, as she said.
Nobody straight up called her fat. Everybody just said that she ate a lot.
In House, everything is extremely exaggerated. For example, the heavy-set girl. was constantly eating, constantly cramming food into her face, no matter what, yeah, right? Like, and
it's like from the perspective of a little kid, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a little kid, you know, it jumps from one thing to another thing, and they're really like random and be like.
Did the aunt get more lively as they died?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I noticed that.
I think when the first person that died, she started walking afterwards.
Yeah, and then she started dancing.
Great soundtrack. And just the persistence of the one song that continues throughout the entire movie, that kind of soothing, reassuring song that's like, no, everything's fine. If you're a kid and you're seeing some like crazy stuff that, you know, you can't process, in the back of your mind you're trying to like keep calm, and that's what the soundtrack is doing. It's like, no, everything's fine, but things are clearly not fine.
that constant theme throughout the movie, the foundation theme, which is pretty much what film scores do. You know, it'll cut from a scene where they're laughing and talking and dancing, and all of a sudden, you know, cut, and then there's a cat vomiting out of the wall, and that other music starts playing. You know.
Yeah. Cat vomit. Well, thank you for watching this movie. Thank you for watching this video. My name is JP Scott. Thank you for watching Film Club. Good movie, good times, good job, this film movie. Thanks for coming. They actually interview the woman who, like...
Because she's an adult now?
Well, she's like 20, like 26.
When was this movie? When did this movie
1977. So she was 7 years old.
So she's in her 40s now.
Well, she's in her 40s now, but whatever. She was young.
When they interviewed her?
When they interviewed her, she was young.
Okay.
She's... Yeah, it's like, I'm doing math in my head, sorry, go ahead.
I'll cut out the part where I said that she was 20, because she's probably not 20. She just looks like she's 20, because she's Asian.
Yeah.
You want to cut that part out too?
Yeah, because it sounds like I'm racist.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
That's a compliment. They live forever. They're